We are live for a brand new Ask Me Anything. All right. We are live on YouTube. Damn, you guys are already going at it. We're live on my free Facebook. Hopefully, Facebook has been giving me a few problems because basically what they're doing, what they did is they changed the algorithm. No, not the algorithm. They changed Facebook group. So I want to make sure I'm HD because sometimes I'm not HD. I'm switching to HD now. Boom, there you go. Now you can see my face in a more HD way. But yeah, guys, I'm excited for this. As always, it's going to be an incredible session. You get to ask me questions and I get to answer them. Brian was good. Pierre was good. Perso, all right. I just want to welcome everyone because if you haven't been to one of these lives, then you're in for a good one. That pullover, what's the brand, man? It's a Spanish brand. It's Scalpers. Right. Eric was good. Okay, cool. So if you're watching this on the replay, just go ahead and skip to maybe minute 2 or 3. Because I just want to make sure that everyone tunes in. But without further ado, Ian, marketing agency. I want to start one next year when I finish high school. Dude, start one now. Get into the process now. That's the best thing you can do right now. Okay. Solid business model. Yes, I do agree. Looking for something to do in the summer holiday. Well, this is probably a good idea to look into this, guys. Let's go right into it. Let's go right into it. I've got lots of questions for you. Pierre says good. So let's get it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show the questions on the screen because now the software that I'm using allows me to do that. But let's go ahead and start with, how do I get clients from foreign countries? Well, Ayush, I'm guessing you're in India. The same way that you get clients from that you would get clients in India, it's just you have an irresistible offer. And one of the great things about an e-commerce marketing agency is that you have deliverability all across the globe. So yes, there are cultural differences, but at the end of the day, ecom businesses are worldwide anyways themselves, right? So usually they speak English. If they don't reach out to them, but usually they speak English. As long as you have an irresistible offer that is consistent across the world. So that is how. Okay. How is the ecom niche? Look, what I would recommend is you look at my mentees testimonials. You look at people who are in the ecom space, because I'm not a big talker, but it is pretty good. It is pretty good, and especially because I think it gives you really cool longevity. That's one of the things that I look for when I'm starting any business model is, will the time investment and energy investment that I put into this for the next year or two, if you cannot commit to something for a year, don't try this, right? Doesn't mean that you're going to get results doesn't mean that it's going to take you a year to get results. If it does, then you're probably doing something wrong. But I want that investment to yield results over time as well, right? And so I was just talking to one of my mentees, Nick, whose interview is coming out on Sunday, and he's actually also starting an ecom brand, right? Just like I am, because he's at that stage of the journey. So that's one of the great things about the ecom niche. Obviously, just in and of itself is much better than local business, that's for sure, right? And I've done plenty of videos on this. But also, going forward into the future, it's just a no-brainer, because it gives you so much, so many transferable skills. So yeah, right. Right. Can I focus on 3 niches like ecom, real estate, and kitchens, for example? Or is that too much? Yeah, that's 100% too much. Look, the ecom space is already more than enough, because within the ecom space, you need to narrow down into a sub niche, right? That's one of the things that I'm big on. So even just going broad in the ecom space is too much, especially when you're starting out, because you want to build a monopoly agency, you want to conquer a specific space. Um, how long should my cold vid intro be? 1 to 2 minutes, I would say. Should I quit college? Not until something is well. Again, if here's the thing, right? Looking back at it, so I didn't quit college until I had a proof of concept, right? I would say you don't even have to have a client side. It's more about like, are you sure you're the type of person that puts in the work, right? Because if you're not, then you might as well do something, right? You might as well, if you don't, you might as well just do college, right? But if you are, and you know you're gonna put your all into something else, then 100% it makes sense to quit. But I'm never gonna tell someone to quit college. That is a very personal thing, and is a decision that you gotta make on your own. I can only teach you from my personal experience. Having quit college myself. Um, why don't media buyers set up their own agency? I got this question through Instagram. Well, here's the thing, right? I see this all the time as beginning entrepreneur in beginning entrepreneurs, and I made the mistake myself as well. But you think, you look at entrepreneurship, right? You look at building an agency, and you're like, this is amazing, right? Why would someone want to work under? Why would someone want to be a media buyer, right? If they can just build their agency, you have to understand this, right? Most people don't want to be an entrepreneur. As entrepreneurs, we're weird people. We are wired differently, right? We're wired to think differently. We like putting more burden on ourselves for a greater outcome, right? Most people don't want to do that, right? Also, some people love their craft. Like some people just want to do one thing and be the best at it, right? And so maybe their craft is Facebook ads or even marketing, and they just want to do that. They don't want to manage a team. They don't want to do any of that stuff, right? And so the same with that, different people have different purposes on this earth. Um, and different people are cut out. I talk about this in my mentorship program, but the shoemaker loves making shoes, right? The baker. I mean, obviously, if we're thinking people are doing what they're passionate about, right? But you have to understand that people have, they're cut out and destined for different things in life. Um, okay. How do you go about? Okay. How do you go about researching a sub niche in ecom? So there's a few steps that you want to do. You want to take a look at, first of all, what are the top brands in the space, right? And number two, how are they making their money? Number three, what is the type of content that they're using for their ads? What does the sales funnel look like? And number four, what are the best selling products, right? And that's kind of pretty much it, right? And then are there any like nuances and any specific things that make a brand successful when it comes to their marketing, right? For example, if you're doing fitness, if you're doing apparel and fashion, right, you should understand that the creative side of things is important, right? Because at the end of the day, the reason why you buy a t-shirt is usually because of the perceived value of that t-shirt. It's not so much the design, but it's because you attach a value to the brand, right? And so you need to make sure that you the perceived value is there, right? And so that's very important for um, that type of niche, right? So yeah. Uh, how did your parents react when you told them you wanted to start an agency? So I never told them I wanted to start an agency. If anything, I told them once I had the agency running and I was working hard at it and maybe even getting results. I can't quite remember, but I never tell people my plans before I actually do them. Right, like that is just like a rule that I have for myself. Like I don't just I don't like talking. I don't like talking until I have a very until I've done right. Um, I value doing over talking, so I don't really like to talk to people about things that I'm gonna do until I'm actually doing them. uh, mm, Okay. How often do you reply to your mentees? Very, very often. The reason why I keep it very, very tight knit. So I keep it very tight knit. My mentees and basically the reason why I do that is so I can give them that time, energy, focus, and attention. So yeah. I just don't think I feel like the course model is it's just broken because you get thousands and thousands of students doing the exact same thing, and when you have thousands of people, there's no chance you can give them that personalized, tailored attention. So yeah. Aside from marketing, what other services do you provide for ecom business? Well, here's the thing, right? Marketing is what we provide. If you mean what type of service within marketing, then there's a few, right? I always recommend Ahmed, that you start with a flagship offer, right? So whether that's typically paid ads or direct marketing, SMS, email marketing, right? And then once you've offered that, then you can cross sell them to other services. You never want to offer a bunch of different services at the same time. Okay, so we've offered paid ads. We've done email marketing, and we still do. We've done SEO. We've done viral e-com ad creation for our clients. So we've pretty much done every single service, and that is why for example, with my mentees, like I show them pretty much how to do every single service out there in the e-com space. But we focus on one core service at the start. Should I hire a copywriter along a media buyer right away so I can solely focus on client acquisition? What I would recommend up here is your media buyer can do the copywriting at first. Okay. And now as you scale, you can bring on a copywriter, but before 10K, 15K per month, I wouldn't recommend you bring on a copywriter. Just increases the complexity. Obviously, a copywriter is going to be better at writing copy than a media buyer, but it's not worth the added complexity at the start. Okay, let me check my Instagram fam. Is Facebook ads as a service saturated and dead? If you go about it the way that most agency owners do, yes, 100%. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to be like the typical agency who's offering Facebook ads for e-com clients, real estate clients, like cool, get in the queue. So are 1,000 other people. You don't have an irresistible offer. Your service, you think your service is the offer, and so yeah, it's it's not even Facebook ads. Everything is saturated. But when you have an irresistible offer and you can cut through the noise, then you end up with something that just catches on fire. Do you think building funnels for supplement companies would go well? 100%, yeah, for sure. As long as, again, guys, anything can be sold as a service as long as you have an irresistible offer component in place, right? But I think yeah, for sure. Is what is your business model? Gabriel, my question is, what is your business model? The business model is a service-based business model, and it's an e-commerce marketing agency where we offer e-com brands growth, right? So growth to us, typically it's 7 to 8 figures. Not sure what you mean by what is your agency system. I mean, there's a lot of systems. So yeah, if you can specify that. TikTok management as a service. I just don't really like management of any platform as a service, to be honest. I just don't think it's a revenue driven activity. So can you make a video of your desk setup? I have done a bunch of, I have shown my desk setup like in my house tour and all that stuff, but I will probably make a video exclusively on the desk setup. Number one platform you get the majority of your e-com clients. We get our clients from a bunch of different platforms. It's not so much about the platform, and my mentees know this. It's more about the strategy behind it, right? So we've got the automated sales funnel, we've got the organic client attraction funnel, and so I would say like it's pretty much 50-50. So social media 50-50, 50%, and then my automated sales funnel through mainly email is 50%. All right. Okay, so I get this question a lot. How can you create an irresistible offer in the beginning if, for example, you cannot guarantee results starting out? Here's the thing, right? An irresistible offer does not come down to guaranteeing results, right? In fact, I talk about this in my mentorship, but we only guarantee results as a kind of like well, you don't have to, right? But it's kind of like a little clutch that we use in the negotiation part, right? If it only comes up, if it only makes sense to include it, right? But we don't just, it's not it's a gun that we keep under, hidden in up our sleeve, right? But it's not something that we offer straight away. An irresistible offer has nothing to do with a results guarantee. It has more to do with being in a specific sub niche, is having a clear approach to results, having the branding on point within that specific sub niche. And so an irresistible offer makes you stand out at the end of the day, right? And it doesn't have to come down to guaranteeing results. Where'd you get your hats from? Great collection. I think I pretty much only have one hat that I ever wear. Maybe I have well, I do have like 2 or 3, but pretty much I just use this one. How long does it take to get your first client? Depends, right? Depends what roadmap you're following. But most of the students that have gone into my 10K club, that is the people that have gone from 0 to 10K with my mentorship. They've done that in 3 to 6 months. So yeah, I don't really look at the first client. The first client is definitely the biggest breakthrough, but since everything is just exponential after that first client, I look more at the 10K mark with my mentorship. Now I definitely know that that's not normal in the industry. Most people never even get to that 10K month mark, but yeah, that's, I'm more interested in that figure. Also because in the micro there's an element of timing. In the macro there's no element of timing. There's no luck. There's no it's just, are you doing things well, and do you have the right roadmap? Okay. In the first month of working with a client, is it better to work on a percentage or a monthly basis? A monthly fee, both. So we do both. I never recommend you just have a percentage because they have to have skin in the game and they have to pay attention. But the money in the e-com space, especially if they have a good budget, is in that percentage of ad profit, and that grows month to month. It's kind of like passive income. Also, I was going to say, if you're not sure what levels of results can you bring them to us, here's the thing: if you're not sure, then it's because you don't have a good team member. You don't have a specific approach to results. Like that is something that it's not normal to not be sure. Okay, that's another thing that I want you guys to keep in mind. So, do your due diligence and put in the work. Obviously, I do understand. Until you have that first client, until you see it for yourself, you're not confident in your results. I do understand that, but you should have a lot of things done to assure that that's not the case. That you're going to get them results. What's your take on cryptocurrency and NFTs? I do believe in them. Now, am I heavily invested into them? No, not so much. I am invested into crypto. NFTs, honestly, zero, nothing. Here's the thing, right? Right now, I'm just focused on building businesses. And when you're building businesses, you don't have too much time on, because I do believe that to master something, right, to have true mastery in something, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the hours, right? So it's either I become an NFT expert and I crypto expert, right? Or I start my new ecom brand, or I scale my agency to 100K per month, or I, get the best results in the industry for my mentees. So I don't think you can do like I do believe there's unlimited time in the day, like there's time for everything, but when you start splitting your focus into too many things, it becomes chaotic. So I would love, and I am looking for someone to come into my team and do all the investing for me, right? If you guys are interested, you can send me a DM, right? But do all the investing, and obviously they would get a part of the cut, a chunk, and someone that is proven to just manage my investing, a portfolio, right? And I do have an investing company under my holding company. I do have an investment company for all the investments that I'm going to be making into real estate, and I'm going to be buying art. I'm going to be investing more heavily into cryptocurrency. But here's the thing, I had it a few months ago. I had a shiny object syndrome, where I was like, oh shit, I need to get into this crypto thing. Now I'm just like, there's always going to be opportunities, right? And yes, we are in a bullish market, but I'd rather put my head down right now, where the e-com space is the greatest opportunity, not crypto, no nothing on, the e-com space is the greatest opportunity right now, whether it's with an e-com, 100% with an e-com marketing agency if you're starting out, and then transitioning from an e-commerce marketing agency into building your own brands. That is the biggest opportunity right now, right? So I can either do that, or I can just get distracted with all the shiny things and Dogecoin and Shiba and some fucking dog, the next dog, like I don't know, the Labrador coin. Obviously, I do see the value in them. I'm just saying, like, building a business, nothing is gonna yield better results than building a business. Sometimes I think like, oh shit, like if I had invested this much into like this cryptocurrency, I could have made like 100K this month. And I'm like, but I also like, almost double my income. So and that is a guaranteed thing that is going to be predictable every single month. Like I'm never, I'm not gonna like go back to zero, right? So I'm like, it's not too bad, Uh, so okay, what's better but also realistic versus the offer for money back guarantee? Guarantee profitability across the first 30 days or first 6 weeks? I would say 6 weeks is definitely better. 6-8 weeks is definitely what you want to shoot for. And then break even ROAS is the way to go. So profitability. Do you think you need an accent to acquire US UK clients? What type of accent? I mean, like a nice British accent? No, obviously not. No, they could not care less. And if they do, honestly, you probably not the greatest fit. Okay. I'm new to your account. Can you tell me how to get into SMMA, what to learn from it? Just go ahead and check out the link in my description. And then just watch all those trainings. Where to get your mentorship program? Just go ahead and DM me, and I'll send you the invite to apply for a call. And if you're a good fit, we'll jump on that call. If you guys are watching on YouTube or Facebook, I'm not sure on Facebook, but on YouTube there should be a link in the description to apply. There's no landing page where some kid can buy the course for like a K and think he's gonna get rich quick overnight. That's not how I do things. All right. Leave a one in the comments if you guys are enjoying this so far. These are intense, but hopefully you guys are finding value in it. Yeah, look, as long as your English is good, as long as they can understand you, right? It's fine. Like as long as you can get your point across, and if you cannot, then just have like a slideshow and you walk them through it. It shouldn't be an excuse. Honestly, my English was so much worse than what it is now when I first started. Jaime, do you set a really good question? Do you set the frame in sales goals when you're working with 7 to 8 figure? Oops, guys, one second. When you're working with 7 to 8 figure corporate clients. So here's the thing, right? I always said the frame, but I think it's Aymen, right? But very important, right? If it really depends on who you're speaking to, right? Typically, if I'm jumping on with the founder, because I have different sales funnels depending on the size of the company, right? So if I'm jumping on with the founder, typically means that it's a smaller company. If I'm jumping on with the marketing department, CMO, marketing director, then it probably means that it's a larger company. So with the marketing director and CMO, it's a complete different style of sales call, right? And here's and then if it's still if it's the founder, like I set the frame in a way that it's not the typical I'm gonna see if you're a good fit, you know, like I'm on, you know, and I talk about this in the mentorship, like guys, relax, right? Like I get it, right? Like we wanna level the playing field, and I know the sales training, I know the sales tactic. I have a very different style of sales. Okay. Especially because in the B2B world, people can smell that shit from very far away. Okay. So, yes, when you're starting out, okay, you need to stick more to a script, right? But at the same time, even you know, my mentors who are starting from scratch know nothing about sales. Like the type of technique that and the type of frame that we set is not so like it's not so egocentric, right? You experience a lot of, honestly, it's, you know, telling beginners to set the frame until like business owners, hey, I'm gonna see if you're a good fit. Okay, it's not the best approach. Like straight out the bat, it's not like you want to put them on a pedestal, right? But it's just same level playing field, right? It's not one has to be on top of the other. Just same level playing field, right? Mutual respect. Um. Anyways, that's a little rant. If I am talking to a founder or a CMO, sorry, if I'm talking to the marketing department, it's going to be a complete different frame, right? It's going to be much more analytical. It's going to be much more data driven. It's going to be much more, you know, it's not going to be, there's not going to be much emotion, okay? Because I know that they're not emotionally attached to their business. They just want to make the CEO happy and look good in front of the CEO and keep their job. Okay, so I'm gonna come at them with a collaborative frame, not a hey, I'm gonna see if you're a good fit, not a hey, you're doing this wrong, right? Not a hey, I'm gonna steal your job frame, right? Which is the subtle sub communication that takes place when most agency owners say like, hey, I'm gonna see if you're a good fit, and you know, here's how you do this and here's how you do that, right? So that's what I would say. And the final thing that I'll say on this is, I use what I call the subtle flex approach. And again, these are techniques that you know I've kind of conceptualized as I've gone I've gone through my journey. Right, I haven't done them on a sales book or anything like that, but I know it works. Right, and the reason why I say that is because I think a lot of agency owners, what they do wrong, and I did this at the very start, is they just ask questions. Right, and so yes, you want to diagnose, you want to be the doctor, right? But if you're just asking questions, you never answer the two questions in the prospect's mind. Is this person does this person know what they're actually talking about? And number two, would or have, right? It's not always have, right? So you don't have to have had results, but would other people trust this person, right? So if you just ask questions, you haven't showed them anything, especially if they've gone through more of a colder outreach. And so you want to make sure that you actually, you know, the soft flex approach is showing that you know what you're talking about, right? You add value, you leave stuff on the table, right? For them to say like, oh shit, like this person actually knows what they're talking about and it's adding value and is abundant in the value that they add. This strategy has worked tremendously well for me. In so far in my business journey, which is just adding value. The market tends to resonate with it. So yeah, that's a long-winded answer to that. We have to learn about SMMA from Fiverr or do YouTube? YouTube. I'm not sure. Please send the invite for your mentorship program. Just go ahead and DM me, and I'll try to get back to you. Okay, good question. Do you agree with the "fake it until you make it" statement in order to get your business off the ground? So I know where you're coming from with this question. Here's how I see it. Okay, I don't believe. I believe in preparation, I believe in being more ready than any other agency owner. I believe in having a better, more irresistible offer than any other agency owner in your specific sub niche, right? So if you do that, you're not actually faking it till you make it. Now, you haven't signed a client, but you're acting in a way that is congruent to people that sign clients, right? And so the way I see fake it till you make it is you act, you don't fake anything, right? You act in the way that agency owners would act, right? So if you're, for example, if you're trying to become a six-figure entrepreneur, you do the things that six-figure entrepreneurs already do, right? So you actually do. You don't fake anything. You actually do. Make sense? And so if you're trying to sign a client, right, and you haven't yet, you act like a person that would be able to sign clients, right? So you prep for the meetings, you have an irresistible offer, you have a specific approach to results, you can close clients on sales calls, you study, you study every single little nuance of your sales calls, right? So you act like it. That to me is not faking it, right? Very, very important. And then the second thing, and I talked about this in one of my latest videos, which almost got I got very little views compared to my average, but it's the 5 common mistakes that people make on sales calls. I talk about the power of brutal honesty, right? So there's so much power in just being brutally honest with your clients. So yeah, faking anything won't get you too far. But if what you mean, Owen, is acting in a way that will get you to that outcome, 100%, right? But that is like literally the one thing you should do to get anything in life, right? You act like the person that you want to be, right? And so you get to that point much faster. It's not faking it. Okay. Can we run an agency from a third world country? Have you ever seen success with it? Yes. I mean, I've got students from India, and they're getting results. I mean, I'm not sure if maybe one of my students, Harsh, is here on the live. Probably not. um, Sorry about that, guys. Got a call, but probably he's not here. But literally today he was like, guys, jump. Got my started not long ago, and already closing strategy sessions, already getting demo calls booked in, and the guy's is on a roll. So yeah, 100%. I think the people that don't, and then I also had this these other students, Anush and they got incredible results as well. I think they signed. I have this on my Instagram stories. I think they signed the first client within like 5 weeks of starting the mentorship. So yeah, it's definitely possible. How do you find a great media buyer to join the team when you do not know one personally? Well, you go through a hiring process, right? You tap into a lot of platforms and you get a lot of volume in, and you have a higher, interviews. How do you get out of a rut? You start small, right? So you start building a bit of momentum. You start doing the things that you used to do when you were not in a rut, and you start small, right? You start with the little things and start building a bit of momentum, and then once you start doing that for a few days, a few weeks, you start picking things up. The pace starts picking up, and then all of a sudden you look back and you go, oh shit, I'm out of the rut, right? But you need to get those little wins under your belt first. All right. When you're just starting out, okay. What budgets cost can you expect when you're just starting out? I'm guessing, Cole, you mean the agency. If that's the case, very little. I think with less than $30, I mean, 100%. I have a few videos on this on my channel, but with less than $30 a month, you can get started with running the agency. Um, Guys, do not pose your question 10 times. Like, I see it. trust me, I'm going through the question. So if anything, you're not doing yourself a favor. So don't do that. Just post it once. I'll get to it. SME or EMMA, which is more demanding in the future. I think I've already covered that extensively in many videos. For me, EMA it's just the place where you want to be right now. I have no bias towards that. I think time will prove itself. Yeah, I just don't see like the traditional SMA model lasting too much for too long, to be honest. I think unfortunately the people who started the business model with the old antiquated courses that used to cover SMA and all that stuff, results are going to suffer for sure. So Rohan, I can see your question. Relax. I'm not about everything, but I'm nervous about getting results. What if I'm unable to deliver results? If you're unable to deliver results, it's because you don't have the right guidance, or you haven't put enough effort into it. You should have a specific approach to results. You should have an incredible media buyer. You should have incredible communication and reporting ecosystems. If you don't have that, then you're not, do the work, put in the work. I have very little tolerance, and this is not coming at you, but I have very little tolerance for agency owners who just don't give a shit about clients. I think that's like you're gonna lose if that's the case. So, and look, also like understand any single advertising, myself included, right? I've had months where I haven't been able to get results for clients, right? So things will happen. Like, and I've never met someone in my life who has actually tried to do something with their life and gotten 10 out of 10 perfect results, never failed once. So understand that there are going to be months, maybe even a client that doesn't work out means, if anything, like refund them profit, the profit you made from them, and just move on, right? Or most clients, I understand, like, hey, it just didn't work out. Like, you still added value to my business, because even if you don't get results, like, you should still be actively adding value to businesses. Because look, if paid ads don't work, like, I still tweaked their funnel. I still gave them an incredible strategy for their ecom brand. I still gave them a ton of strategies for their marketing assets and all that stuff. So they never lose. They never lose with my agency. They never lose with the way I teach it is that the client never loses, even if the paid ads just completely bomb. But I mean, here's the thing. At least you're thinking about results, right? So credits to you, because most agency owners, like the ones that well, I wouldn't say most agency owners. I think my channel does have people who are more in tune with what a business really is, which is adding value to real people. But it's not just about signing clients. If you are in that mindset of like just thinking about you and what's in it for you, oh god, you're not gonna have much longevity, are you? Can you give us tips to grow on how to grow on YouTube? Just put out great content, good content consistently. So the first thing you need to understand about posting content on any platform is shit's gonna be hard at first, especially. And you just gotta hit that ice until it cracks. And as you're hitting the ice, you have to look at the data that's coming back, and then iterate according to that data. All right. We're going to kick it for another 15 or so minutes, so get your questions in. Kunal, I see your question. Don't worry about. You don't have to copy and paste it 100 times. All right. What else? How does payment work? Does the contract? Does the client sign a contract, or how does it work? By the way, I'm getting very few questions from the Facebook community. Where are you guys at? But how does payment work? Yeah, so typically a client pays the fix at the start of the month, and then they pay the performance-driven incentive at the end of the month. Will you bring out Udemy courses? No, I have my private mentorship. That's the only thing and the one thing I do when it comes to coaching, and that's my baby. That's my my life project. Ecom or real estate niche? Ecom, very simply put. As you said, typical SMMA won't last long. What will replace it in your opinion? EMA, e-commerce marketing agency. I've got a lot of videos on this, but yeah. Kindly tell me best software for funnel making. I would say Lead Pages or ClickFunnels, but yeah. Jaime, how to join you as a student? Just go ahead and DM me and I'll send over an application link. Love your work, man. Appreciate it. Finish week 1 of 6-figure ecom agency. You are the man, Jaime. Dude, you got it. I'm happy that you're enjoying it. Yeah. I appreciate that. For those of you who are wondering, 6-figure ecom agency is my program, my mentorship program. And Patrick, love it when my mentees show up. That's what it's about. Should I consider a growing retainer in for the first month only 1K per month, then second month? No. That is that psychologically stuff. You should 100% charge a performance-driven incentive that grows month to month, but it's a percentage. So percentage is much easier to digest for clients because you're taking a percentage of profits. Can you be my mentor? Guys, for those asking, just go ahead and DM me on Instagram or on YouTube. There's a link in the description. And you can go ahead and apply, and if you're a good fit, we'll go ahead and discuss further. But there's no landing page. You cannot buy my, it's not a course, but you cannot buy my course anywhere. By the way, Jaime, did you see my post in the group? Yes, we'll get to it, Adi. So don't worry about it. By the way, loving the mentorship at the course. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, we'll it's been a pretty hectic day. So we'll get to it. Stream is broken. What's your sales funnel for bringing? What's your sales funnel for bringing clients on my automated sales funnel and my organic client traction funnels through my profile funnel? What is your advice to a college student? Just do a lot of shit. Try, and get a self-awareness. Okay. There's so much saturation in Facebook ads. Should I go with it or change my niche? Please reply. There's no saturation with Facebook ads. There is saturation if you pick a niche that is saturated. Well, that everyone picks, and also that is broad, and also that you don't have an irresistible offer. Oftentimes, it's not so much about the service. Really, the service is only the vehicle. But if the service is what you're worried about, I mean, there's a myriad of different e-com services. I've spoken about them a bunch on my channel as well, that you can pick. So yeah. How much do you charge for your mentorship? You just go ahead and DM me, and we can I can give you a few more details, but I want to keep this value based. People say you don't need an LLC at first. People say you don't need an LLC at first, but how do you verify your business manager so it doesn't get restricted? Honestly, having a verified business manager doesn't usually mean that it's not going to get restricted. And just because you don't have a verified business manager doesn't mean you're just going to get restricted. So it's not a must to be verified at first. But here's the thing: like, why not create an LLC? Like, you're going to go hard at this, right? So it's not like it shouldn't like take a lot of brain, like it shouldn't take a lot of your mental power to or capacity to like get an LLC. Like there's things that you should be focusing on um before that. But yeah. I love your work, brother. Keep grinding, stay safe. I appreciate that, my man. How do we pronounce your first name? Jaime, 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 Jaime. That's how. All right. I'm not sure what. So I see this part of the question, but if you can just type in the first question, the first part of the question, so I can see it. Find their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So I just reach out to them. 103. I mean, I guess just not even looking at the first part of this question. No, you should never reach out to all three at first, right? If they show interest in one platform, then you go ahead and get omnipresence across all platforms. But at first, no, absolutely not. That is a very easy way of wasting time and energy times 3. Can we automate EMA? Yes, you can. My automated sales funnel, my reporting dashboards. Yes. What are your recent plans and projects? I was looking forward to getting this question. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen, I'm creating my own ecom brand. I will be launching in the upcoming weeks, probably a few months. But that's my recent plan, my next big project. Just putting all my energy and focus into that right now. And I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be an incredible journey. I'm going to learn a lot. Probably will fail a bunch as well. But I'm hoping to have a home run with it. So hoping to have a really good launch. How many meetings until you close usually are one call closers rare? Here's the thing: for the ecom space, yes, it is rare. Because usually there's more vetting involved in the ecom. There's just more structure, especially if it's a bigger brand. So usually I just do 2 call closes. No rush, especially if I'm talking to a CMO or a marketing director. But I probably already know that before going into that first call. You see what I'm saying? So I structure that first call in a different manner. Sometimes I won't even pitch them the price. So I keep all my cards up my sleeve. So then I force that second call, right? If I know I'm not going to close them on that first call, you're not going to find me pitching, you know? So yeah. Okay. Please clarify EMMA versus those with online and physical presence. So I don't really understand the question, but an EMA is an e-commerce marketing agency, basically an agency that services e-com businesses. Now, these e-com businesses could have a physical presence, right? In fact, I do have a bunch of clients who are crushing it when it comes to retail, right? Big players in retailers. But that is literally why they need our help, right? Because they want to make that transition to e-com. So yeah, that's EMA is just an agency that services e-com businesses. Okay, really good question. How many hours a day should I work on SMA? I feel like these hardcore entrepreneurs that say you must work 16 to 20 hours a day are lying. Dude, here's the thing, right? Everyone here works hard. I haven't jumped on one mentorship call where I'm not like, where the person it doesn't say like I'm big, I'm the hardest working person, right? It's not about hard work. But the people that say they're working 12 to 18 hours a day on their agency, like, oh, look, I there's in my opinion there's just a toxic culture around hard work, especially in the service-based business. Most people are just banging out hundreds of cold calls, hundreds of cold emails for 6 to 8 hours a day. That's not very, you put in the work, that's not very effective. um so it's not about how many, like, here's the thing. If you have a systemized way and an automated, and you're being smart about it, and you put 16 to 20 hours into that machine, then you're going to get a lot of output, right? But if you don't have a lot of throughput on your machine, and your machine is broken, and you put 16 to 20 hours in the input, you're not going to get a lot of output. It doesn't matter, right? Now, if your machine is very optimized, you have a lot of throughput, right? It's very systemized, there's no leaks, and you put 2 to 4 hours a day, you're going to get a lot more done. So it's not so much about the hours. You got to put in the hours at first. I'm not saying, I'm not taking anything, I've put in the hours. I still put in the hours. I work hard. We get it. You work hard as well. But, make sure that you do it in a systemized way. Um, Hard work is not always the answer. That's one of the things that I've been learning, especially as of late. Like, I do have a lot of projects, right? And so I'm working, I'm putting in the hours, but I'm kind of dividing it to different projects. I'm putting less time into each project, yet individually each project is growing more than ever. Why? Because honestly, I have more time to think of how can I make things better, how can I make things more systemized. So it's not about it's not so much about the hours that you put in. Trust me. Again, I'm not saying you shouldn't put in the hours. I'm just saying, like, it's not just about input output. What are your thoughts about Instagram theme pages? I think unpredictable businesses. Not bad, but unpredictable businesses. Unpredictable businesses. Because of my money back guarantee, should I put in my media buyer's contract that if we're not profitable with a client and have to pay them back, that it will also include risk pay? It should never include risk pay, in my opinion, right? So if anything, if you do want to do a money back guarantee, just refund that profit, and I think your client will understand. You started your SME journey at 19. How long it took you to scout 10K per month? So here's the thing. My first year, honestly, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I feel like that's most agency owners that don't have the right guidance. Um, Now, no, having the guidance that I have now, which, for example, like if I look at my mentees, I'm jealous because they can do that in, like, they can do the 10K a month from 0 to 10K in 2 to 5 months. So I'm like, damn, I wish I had this. But um, when I started, like, when I really had a system, I was like, okay, it probably took me around 4 or 5 months or so. Yeah. So, I mean, when I found that system that worked for me, with the automations and my automate sales funnel that I talk about a lot, things just took off. How to deal with toxic friends? Well, just slowly stop hanging out with them until eventually you guys kind of forget about each other and you move on. There will be people in life that naturally just you part ways with, and that don't have much longevity. Uh, okay. Thank you for answering. Thank you for time answering my question. Seems like they're not outside the scope of transition into e-commerce. Absolutely not. In fact, some some of them are some of the greatest opportunities, right? Because if you can make that transition for them and then have them be successful, oh my days, David, they're going to be happy with you. So yeah, definitely not outside of our scope. Can you explain some of your automated sales funnel? That is honestly something that I only talk about in my mentorship, among a bunch of other things. Quite a lot of other things, but yeah, it's a little secret sauce. All right, guys, we've got 1 minute left. 1 minute. Get your questions in. All right. Who's gonna be the question asker? I feel like I want because I've answered a lot of in-depth strategy questions and all that stuff. I feel like I want I feel like I want something that's a bit deeper, that has more to do with I don't know, like the entrepreneurial journey, something like that. Come on, guys. Okay. Okay. So, the question is, let's see, because I'm looking for something. I'm afraid of cold. Well, I'll take this one and I'll take another one. I'm afraid of cold calls. And advice, I haven't done one cold call in my life, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. Do I think they're useful? Not at all. I mean, you're not going to be finding business ecom owners checking their, with a cold call. That's for sure. Um, have you thought about taking on creative more seriously, making higher quality ads? Yeah, and we do that. It's not like we put a lot of time into. It's not like we make it a whole offer, right? But we do include it within our service delivery. In fact, for example, with my mentorship, like I give my mentees like a marketing asset creation guide, right, that they can share with their clients. So it's not only about, it's not only about telling your clients what type of creatives work, but also and that especially you should do at the start. But you can also later down the line get more involved with the creative creation. All right. Okay, and the final question is this: how to succeed in EMA with all the new agencies and seasoned vets? Very good question. The way you do that is by building a sub niche ecom agency. The bigger, more seasoned vets are clunky. They're big, so they're not agile. They're going for a broad ecom market. So if you can narrow down, tap into a sub niche, then you're going to have an edge over them, with those type of prospects that are in that sub niche. All right, so I'm getting good questions now, but we have run out of time. It was a time you felt like quitting, but then, I mean, a lot of it's never like I never felt like I never felt like quitting. To be honest, I never felt like quitting because I knew what was in it for me, and I knew the outcome that if I just kept working, I would get. But there were obviously times where I was like, damn, like this is hard, man. This is hard. Not hard, but more like this is not easy, right? And I knew that. I knew that already. But it's like this shit, this bitch is testing me. That's kind of, like sometimes I would when I started out, I would like I had a little room where I would sleep, I would record, and I would work. I think I've shown that in my channel, maybe a time or two. But from my bed I could see my desk. So it was kind of like wake up, go to my desk, go gym and stuff like that. But it was, I would live my life pretty much in that room. And I really remember just looking for my bed at my desk and saying like, it's not gonna be it's gonna be a cool process, but sometimes it tests me. It tests the my true self. So yeah, that is that, guys. Appreciate every single one of you for coming and tuning in. I will be hosting another one of these next week, and as always, appreciate you, and I hope everything's going well in your journey. Peace.